Welcome to the show.
I'm Coke.
And I'm Connor.
This is the debate show where we discuss unexplained events from the history, all things supernatural and out of this world.
Look, I'm here to represent science. We're going to take a look at some mysterious events throughout history, and I'm here to make sure you don't get misled down a supernatural path of thinking.
This is Coke and Connor, and we don't like each other. This week, we're going to take a look at the Battle of Los Angeles, the mysterious aerial event that shook Southern Californians back in the 40s.
Not to be confused with Battle of Los Angeles, the 2011 film starring Michelle Rodriguez.
It's considered by many to be the first major incident of alien interaction with the government.
And it's considered by many more to be a big f***ing fiasco. So, to understand the Battle of Los Angeles, we have to take a look at what we know for certain, the facts. This is... What the f*** happened?
Okay, so to understand WTF exactly what happened, we have to go to that fateful night.
February 24th, 1942. Just 3 months after Pearl Harbor and the US's entry into World War II.
7 p.m., the US Navy receives intelligence that a potential attack is going to happen along the west coast. For the rest of the night, the US Army watches the sky extra carefully for the UFOs.
Thank you. Next. But nothing exactly happens for the rest of the night on the 24th. It's not till early morning on the 25th when shit starts to go down.
Someone spots something in the sky that raises an alert.
Okay, so it's the middle of the night, and people are all of a sudden woken up by these loud sirens blaring all across the city. Shortly after, a total blackout of Los Angeles is ordered. This is a common procedure used by the military and governments to protect a city during an air raid. They come outside their house to find giant searchlights spotted in the sky. And you can imagine these sirens are loud because they're heard all over the valley and all over Los Angeles.
Don't go out there!
And you can imagine these lights are bright because everyone can see them from where they're at. Pretty spooky.
I would be like scared to death, because that was the wartime. Somewhere around 3 a.m., all the gun bases around the Los Angeles are given the same instruction to shoot into the sky at something. So the gun goes like... And people were not prepared. The imagination can just go crazy. It's a freaking crazy night.
That we can agree on.
Finally, a little after 4 a.m., the order to stop shooting was given at 7 a.m. When the coast is supposedly to be cleared, they turned the power to Los Angeles back on.
Thus ending the blackout and the event known as the Battle of Los Angeles. When residents woke up on the morning of February 25th, they found a lot of property damage caused by the 1,400 rounds of ammunition that were shot into the sky that night. 5 people actually died from this. But one thing they never discovered was any sign of an enemy or an enemy attack.
So what did they see in the sky that night that triggers alarm in the first place?
Well, that begs our next big question.
What the was up there?
Now, this is where it gets tricky.
No, this is good because no one can really agree on what happened and what was up there in that night. That led me to the only logical conclusion. That was indeed an alien spacecraft. Look. Oh. It's magic. No, bring it back! You add. Dozens of witnesses across the city recall sighting unusual objects that night. They all shared the same description. A disc-like object that hovered noiselessly across the city, as well as the appearance of bright orange hue around that object.
Or, a number of other logical possibilities. Which, could have easily been just a reflection of some light projected onto it.
But it's not just like that. Many accounts describe an alien-like spaceship in great detail.
I think it would have been too easy to think you saw something up there in the sky that night when there were alarms sounding across the city, there's a total blackout, and the whole city's in a state of panic in general.
But there are way too many eyewitnesses.
Not even everything seen that night by everyone was said to be a UFO. A lot of people said they saw Japanese planes flying above. Some even claimed they saw some flying in formation. Others said they even saw these planes dropping bombs on the city. But we know that wasn't true because there was no damage to the city the next morning.
So, you really believe they were shooting at nothing?
There could very well have been some foreign planes up in the sky that night, but if there were, they didn't do any damage to us. All the damage that was inflicted to the city was by our own military.
So Japanese planes, especially in formation, would be easily to spot or hear out there in the night sky. But the objects that many people saw was completely silent.
Well, that leads me to my other theory, which several witnesses say they saw and the military later confirmed, and that's that it was a weather balloon up there that initially triggered all the drama. Yes, that's right, a pesky weather balloon, infamous for mistaken UFO sightings.
And cover-ups!
Yeah.
Folks,
some Navy personnel did confirm that night that they did see a weather balloon.
Okay. You know what? I am so sick of this government covering up whenever there's a UFO sighting. You know, that happened later in the Roswell incident in 1947, but we're gonna cover that up in the later episodes.
Thank you. Next.
Anyway, so if that was indeed a weather balloon, it would have been shut down so quick, within 5 seconds. It wouldn't manage to fly across the city, and then it wouldn't show up in the photo that was taken that night and published later in Los Angeles Times.
You know, they still have that edition of the Los Angeles Times here in the public system in Los Angeles.
So then why are we still in the town? Road trip!
Let's go.
Los Angeles Public Library to find the original newspaper clippings from 1942. You know what? Found
it. Well, are you convinced now?
You know, I did find that to be a very informative venture, but no, I'm never convinced. I really thought that looking at that photo would shed some light and you might be able to see what was up there, but honestly, I didn't see anything, and I don't think people should put their faith in such an old photo like that.
Okay, sure, because we both look at the same photo, and then there's a searchlight centered to this object that it's pretty obvious. It's a disc-like spaceship.
I think whatever you saw on that screen must have just been a reflection of light on the computer screen.
No, that was a saucer. Your argument relies on the government telling the truth.
Well, you know, I guess there's another way we could settle this.
Like, man.
Please don't let it come to that, because, you know, the boys watching today are the men watching tomorrow. Never mind. It's time for our final thoughts.
The fact that so many people has witnessed the thing in the sky that night, and also the government couldn't get their story straight and changed their story 3 times, leads me to believe there's something mysterious going on behind this, that the government cannot reveal what was.
The timing of this event being so close to World War II leads me to believe that this was just jittery war nerves and a misidentified weather balloon that led to all the chaos that night. No such alien visitation.
Do you believe this guy? Look at him.
You do believe
Such a
this
government
guy.
baby.
I'd like to disclose I am currently and for that I am grateful.
We're not alone. Just like the famous Fermi paradox theory. Where is everybody? We can't answer that question, but we know it's there. So we don't have the technology to create the UFO kind of aircraft for now, but doesn't mean it's not true.
I actually have my own paradox of such. It's that We are alone. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and let us know who won today's debate.
And then the loser will get punished in the next episode. This is Coke.
And this is Connor.
This is Coke and Connor. And we don't like each other.
Let me see the damn duck. I thought I could get it to squirt.
So please subscribe to our channel. Cause if you do, once we break 5,000 subscribers, Connor at this moment will stand up.
Yes, and there's nothing going on down here.
Use your imagination. We are not wearing anything underneath.
No.